Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Best Damn Sports Show in Franklin County for Wednesday, April 17th, 2019. I am the Nighthawk, along with our studio director, the ever so able Zachary, and on the panel, just Super Dave. And we're hopeful for an informative and a fun show tonight. So, David, 2 weeks from now, give or take, I will be in Paris, and I was planning
to go to Notre Dame.
And I got a lot more history on it in the last 48 hours than I knew before. But, my wife and I are leaving for vacation next Thursday, and Paris is one of the cities we will be seeing, and I bought a rather pricey excursion for a tour of Paris in a river cruise on the Seine, a dinner river cruise.
Oh, wow.
I've been to France a couple times before, but I went up north to Normandy. So I've been to Normandy a couple times, but I said, maybe I should hit Paris. I know they hate Americans, but I figured I'll go there. So I was a little excited to see Notre Dame, not Notre Dame, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it, I saw on the internet today, I didn't click on it, some conspiracy theories. So I
don't think so. I think there was some construction.
Yeah, that's what they.
And when you're dealing with 800-year-old wood, and you got a couple of sparks, and there was no fire suppression, I'm sure.
Have you been there before?
No.
No.
I've never been. On my trip to Lebanon, it's the first time I've ever been out of this hemisphere.
Oh, really? Okay.
And but I read they were lucky in that it could have been a lot worse. A lot of the stuff on the inside they could save.
Yeah.
And I also read something interesting that, everybody thinks that it's been pristine since the time it was built in 1200. During French Revolution, it really went into a great disrepair.
Okay.
And
refresh our viewers, David, the century, the French Revolution.
1793.
Okay, thank you.
So, or 1791 maybe, I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's in there. Well, anyway, it was remodeled in the early 1800s by these guys. So a lot of what you see didn't go back to 1200. It really only went back to 1800.
Okay.
And after going to Lebanon and seeing all these burned out churches that were totally restored, I have complete faith that they'll be able to restore it exactly like it was.
They've already raised $1 billion to do it. So one thing I learned, I knew that the church was, roughly 850 years old. I did not realize it took over 100 years to build. So if you and I started at age 20 construction, we wouldn't see, if our kids took over for us, they would not have seen the finished product. So again, over 100 years to construct. So I have a question. So they've got the billions of dollars raised to rebuild. Give me an estimation of how many years it would take.
They were saying that it might be 20 years before it's completely done.
Okay.
What they've got to do now...
Would they replicate with the timber and all that?
Well, they aren't sure. They aren't sure if they're going to go...
And would it meet fire codes?
Well, I bet you whatever they build will have fire, sprinklers and all that stuff in it. And I would also... They were saying they aren't sure if they're going to build it back with a wooden roof or with a stone roof.
Okay.
There's some things that they'll have to figure out. I think the first step is to make sure that it's weather tight, and then they'll figure it out. And it's going to take a lot of craftsmen.
Yeah.
But they had cataloged every square inch of the place on CDs and stuff. So they'll be able to replace it fairly accurately to what they had. And the other thing sometimes with old buildings is you always say, oh my God, I hate to take the original. But sometimes over the course of time, buildings need to evolve too.
Yeah.
And they need to, sometimes they need to be fixed.
Can you imagine the technology here in the 21st century versus the 12th century?
No comparison.
You know?
And when you think about it, I mean, that building, you had two great wars, World War I, World War II, and never sustained a bit of damage. Where you look at Germany, how many churches were, and Dresden was all firebombed and all that. I mean,
of course, there was a movie called Is Paris Burning? Because Hitler, right at the last couple weeks of the war, told the German general, I can't remember his name, burn Paris down to the ground. And then he had called Is Paris Burning? And of course, the German general did not follow his orders because he loved the city of Paris and the beauty of Paris. And old Adolf was not pleased.
Well, that's but these things happen, and they, I'm sure they'll do a beautiful job.
Yeah. So interesting. So before we get rolling, David, I want to do a public service announcement. My good friend Jim Coots, who's the head of the senior center here in St. Albans on Messenger Street.
Okay, probably the old Messenger Street school.
Exactly. So he gave me a call, and incidentally, his daughter is Cheryl Underwood has cut my hair for probably the last 35
so
years.
So you kind of had to.
So yeah, he called me. So it would be very easy to say if I told him absolutely no, then he would tell his daughter to just give me a real hatchet.
Well,
job.
you're lucky you still have hair. A lot of us have a lot of it gone.
Yeah. Well, from the frontal view, Dave,
it
you
looks
look
great.
Fine. We just don't want to get a camera behind
That's right.
you. So anyways, there will be a silent auction at the Senior Center Saturday, April 27th, and that'll be from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. And one item that they do have is a signed baseball from Boston Red Sox Tyler Thornburg. So you can put a bid on that. There's going to be many, many other items up for bid. So this is a huge, huge fundraiser for the Senior Center. And they also will have a maple-laden meal. I'm not sure exactly, but it's that time of the year.
Yeah, it is.
For maple. So that will occur from 11:30 to 1:30. So if you have any questions, call my old buddy Jim Coots, 524-6616. So once again, at the Senior Center, and we'll all become senior centers and seniors shortly. How old do you consider yourself you have to be a senior?
Well, AARP sends you stuff at 50,
yeah,
which I still haven't signed up for.
Yeah.
I think maybe 65 is still...
But I know you can be a member of the Senior Center, I think at maybe age 55. So silent auction, April 27th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And don't forget the maple meal from 11:30 to 1:30. Signed baseball from Boston Red Sox relief pitcher Tyler Thornburg. And there'll be many, 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 many other items donated throughout Franklin County that will be up for that silent bid. So.
Okay, perfect.
So much fun. So David, I would like to think of myself as the born loser. So I just got done tax season, 90 days behind the desk with a chain wrapped around my ankle. I did yard work today, and I mean, in the temps in the 50s, absolutely perfect. So a lot of raking, picking up sticks and limbs, and I didn't complain at all. And my back did not give out because I've told you before, the last exercise I got when the Duke and I walked off the 18th green, we were the last people off the golf course on Veterans Day. And so done nothing. So I said, oh man, my body's not looking forward to this. But I made it through. I took some ibuprofen, whatever that stuff is called. And I feel really good. I asked my wife, this won't make me loopy for the TV show since you're so stupid.
Yeah, I know.
So I did that. And tomorrow, after all that stick picking up I did, it's supposed to be an extremely windy day.
And I'm sure you'll
and all those sticks, they'll be. So anyway, so Sunday, I did not get an opportunity to watch the first through the third round of the Masters. Busy. End of tax season, busy.
Yep, you got
gotta
stuff to
work,
do.
gotta work,
Yep.
gotta work. during off season, I can record a round of golf and follow my favorite golf. So Sunday looks pretty interesting. Tiger's 2 strokes behind. As we all know, he has never come back in the 4th round to win a major. Didn't expect him to win, but I'll see him attempt to do it. So I get down, it's about 10 o'clock at night. Jump in bed, say, oh yeah, baby, 4th round of the Masters. Click, 16th hole. I go, what the hell is going on? Did I not, everything was recorded properly. As you know, and I didn't know, they started teeing off at 7 in the morning.
Right.
Instead of twosomes, they did threesomes to get the tournament.
They had to get it all in because there was weather coming.
Inclement weather coming in. And 16th hole, Tiger's up by 2 strokes, and I said, man, I think I just missed an historic round of golf. So I missed all the drama. So paint me a picture.
Well, I got to tell you, I did the same thing, sort of, kind of, except I did record it properly. Because, see, I like to go to yoga at 5 o'clock.
On Sundays.
On Sundays, but because I wanted to make sure I stayed home and watched the Masters, I signed up for the 12 o'clock. Well, lo and behold, now that they started early, by the time I got home at 2 o'clock, it was just about done.
Right, and that's when the leaders would be teeing off right around 2 o'clock. Perfect.
But it was all done, but I did record it, and I did listen to the last 3-4 holes on the radio driving back. And I mean, I hate to sound like a sourpuss, but the tournament was fantastic, and you had guys all over the leaderboard, and you had guys, Ricky Fowler, Cantlay, Koepka, Dustin Johnson, all could have won, but they didn't. And Tiger won, and he was the only one. He hung on, and he did fine. What I can't stand is this sanctification of Tiger Woods now.
Okay, listen, I know you go to church every week to Holy Angels. You're a better Christian.
Well, I went to St. Mary's this week, but
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I try to be a good Christian, good Catholic, went to Holy Angels. I was an altar boy. I don't attend church like I should, so I definitely put you a better person than
I don't know about that.
But, so I'm talking to a person saying, well, the golf course opens up Saturday. I'm really excited. And she goes, well, did you see the Masters Sunday? Well, sort of, a little bit, but blah, blah, blah. And she goes, well, you must have been happy about Tiger. So the bad part of me said, no. I said, the guy's a pig. I said, he cheated on 28 different women with his wife. If that wasn't bad enough, when he's dating the absolutely gorgeous Lindsey Vonn, one of the greatest downhill skiers of all time, he cheated on her. And I go, the guy's an absolute pig. But the good side of me, the bad guy on your shoulder,
right?
The good side, I like to see that he does have some redemption in his life. He seemed to have matured. However, David, I root against him because it's like Duke basketball. I'll watch him, but I root against him because I don't like him.
Well, I wasn't rooting against him. I mean, to give you...
Well, let's go for am I a bad person?
No, you're right. And from my point of view, I think, number one, the guy was a cheater in his heyday. I'm sure he was a steroid guy.
Well, you said that years ago. Like 10 years, you told me the guy's on steroids. That's why his body is broken down. In fact, I told Dr. Johnson, I had an eye exam yesterday, that David Handy told me 10 years ago that the guy was all juiced up.
And I'm 100% sure of it.
But Dr. J also told me he thinks a lot of people on the PGA.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
Because, we've talked in the past.
They don't. They tell
when
you.
We were
they
kids,
tell you 6 months before they give you your drug test.
When we were kids, every golfer had a.
They look like this.
Right. Jack Nicklaus, the Golden Bear, looked more like an elephant. He was huge in his youth.
He was.
Arnie had Lee Trevino had a gut on him. They were all, but now they all look super athletic.
What's changed, Tiger Tiger brought in a fitness element of golf. Though there are golfers that were fit. Gary Player
from South Africa
still looks hale and hearty. He can still play golf. That guy's in shape.
Yeah.
I think he does like 1,000 sit-ups a day or something. He was like the first guy to show the benefit of being in shape.
Yep.
You look at Langer. Langer looks like he's in great shape.
Yeah.
And made the cut again.
In his 60s.
But Tiger took it to a new level. And all of these new guys are all lifting weights, cardio, diet. They've all taken it up a notch. But what bothers me more than anything with Tiger is that he's not a good person. Oh, we got a caller.
Okay. Good evening. You're the first one up on the tee box. Go ahead, swing away. You're on the best damn sports show in Franklin County. Go ahead.
You two are good Catholic boys. You guys got to find a little forgiveness in your heart.
I got forgiveness when somebody apologizes, somebody atones for their mistakes, when somebody says, "Hey, I'm sorry, I was wrong.
I was wrong to cheat on 28 different women."
Yeah, but there's too much of that today. People think today they can do anything they want, then a public apology takes care of everything. If somebody was really sorry, truly sorry, they would not have done the act to begin with. Yeah. So 90% of the time, these "I'm sorry," I don't really feel that people are sorry. It's just their way of getting out of whatever they did.
Oh, absolutely.
But anyway,
you're right.
Tiger looked good, and I'm telling you, that whole crowd was behind him.
Oh, yeah.
I've
they
never
were.
seen so much cheering at the Masters. Now, I'm not a golfer like you guys, but I do know it's kind of dry. Every sport needs a Michael Jordan. Every sport needs somebody you love or you hate.
Yeah.
And golf has been dry since Tiger is gone. Golf courses are cow pastures now. What used to be a 3-year wait for membership, any guy can walk in off the street and get membership any place. So when Tiger first came onto the scene, and you guys know better than I, he played the game. He made it look easy, and he was like the Pied Piper. After Tiger, everybody bought golf clubs.
Yes, they did.
And
Absolutely.
golf just took off. I mean, at a record pace. And as Tiger faltered through some of his acts later on in his golfing career, golf died with Tiger. And what I think you're going to see now is golf picking back up, and people are going to be saying, "Well, do you think Tiger has a chance this tournament? Let's turn it on, see how Tiger does. Do you think he can win again?" Because I remember a conversation here about a year ago where there was 3 people on your panel, and each of you in agreement that Tiger will never win anything again.
Yeah, you're right.
And I was in total agreement with you.
Yep.
So,
and I agree, caller, because now that he won, it was what, 16th major?
15.
15th. He's what, 2 behind or 3? 3 behind. He's got some serious motivation where the PGA is moved to May, so literally in 4 weeks, the PGA, and Tiger's playing at his peak. He probably thinks he can win number 16.
Well, what I would like to say, caller, is that just about everything you said is all true. And Tiger Woods in this comeback has been remarkable. Just to give the devil his due, to take a guy that couldn't even lift up a golf club 2 years ago, had the yips, he couldn't play, he was a mess, to being a guy that can beat all the rest of these guys. It is an amazing story. And in and of itself is fine, and I've got no problem with that. My problem is when they start showing the hug with his kid versus superimposing the hug with his dad.
Yeah.
And when Jim Nantz and Tirico are fawning all over him like he's some holy man when he's not. He's really a dirtbag, but he's a damn good golfer and he's a real competitor. And a lot of guys would probably not have had probably wouldn't have done the work necessary to come back. But is he a good guy? Is he a great person? That remains to be seen. Now, I'm a forgiver, and if you read in the next few years where he's doing a lot of good works and he's doing good things, I'll give him all the credit in the world. But you take the last 10 years, he hasn't done that much to me to prove that he's a great person. He's just a golfer. He is no Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, I certainly can't argue that. I guess my point I was trying to make is that, he is just what golf needed. He was that shot of adrenaline because, golf, you watch it, and like I say, it's like any sport. There's got to be somebody you want to lose and somebody you want to win. Golf has been very vanilla, which some can argue it's good for the game because there's 6, 7, 8 people that can win it. Or, you could have the argument, well, geez, it's dull. There's nobody to really chase. There's no favorites here. But I liked it, and I know what he went through. I mean, the guy, but I think other people did that also years gone by. It's just you can't burp today and get away with it. And there's other sport figures that are 23 years old with millions of dollars and which, actually hurt them in their way of life. But, he's certainly not an angel. But I guess, again, I said the point I'm trying to make is that I really think, in my opinion, that golf needed that. Tiger, people 20 years older than us remember him, we remember him, and, I think there's going to be, younger people kind of like, geez, that was the guy that won way back then. I just feel golf needed that, I was happy for him. It was very emotional at the end, and, we'll see what, happens from here.
Yeah, no, you're right. Every sport needs a face. There's absolutely no question. Football's got Tom Brady. What a great representation. Basketball of late, and he will lose his crown sooner than later, LeBron James. But the caller is right. Golf needed Tiger to come back. But on the other side of the coin, that's really bad news for the sport of golf because it needed Tiger to get all this popularity back because guys like Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth has been a ghost for the last year. Dustin Johnson's a great golfer. He's got zero personality.
Koepka doesn't have much personality either.
Right. All these guys are just, I'll use the colors, very vanilla type people. There's just no real maverick out there that people can relate to.
I think what'll happen, the golf viewership, I suspect will pick up. I heard the Masters picked up 5 rating points.
Well, my golf buddy Joe, if Tiger's not playing, he's not watching.
Right. Oh, there's a lot of folks. But do I think that you're going to see the golf course boom and people playing golf like it was 20 years ago when he first came on the scene? I don't think so, because a lot of those folks already realized, geez, it's 4 hours to play and it's hard to break
David,
100.
I'm going to tell you straight up, you're right, and what's the difference between now and 25 years ago when Tiger broke in, they didn't have all the computer gadgets. Young people are lazy. I don't care if you want to come beat me up. You're lazy. You're all on your little tweet machines, and it's not just golf that's down. All sports participation throughout this country is down because they're into electronics. Obesity is at an all-time high because they're into this stuff. Technology is the worst thing that's ever happened in this world. Go ahead.
But anyway, now, caller, I just want to mention, too, while we're at it, I hate to say anything, but boy, those Red Sox sure looked bad yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah, I couldn't be in agreement more with you, David. Geez, they look worse than bad. last year, to win any big event, Stanley Cup, World Series, whatever, everybody on that team has to gel together and have a career year. And that's what the Red Sox did last year. Watching a bit of them, as much as I can stomach, they look like little leaguers that are out in the field the first time in the spring. Balls are dropping between them. Last night, for instance, you had guy second and third base, nobody out, pop-up, strikeout. We cannot move runners. Cora has his. We're going to see what kind of coach he is this year.
Yes.
Last year, everything worked itself out, and this year it's going to take some coaching. And and I'm going to give kudos to myself too. All winter, I kept saying Tampa Bay. I said the Red Sox will be battling Tampa Bay for a wild card, and I'm going to stand by that. The Yankees, I feel, in the long run, from June 1st on, I think they will have the best record in baseball. They'll get all their pieces back together. They're not playing bad baseball right now, and
they have been playing
their team
bad.
are
They were
backup
awful.
players.
Yeah.
The Yankees.
But the Red Sox are in big trouble because this is all our starting pitching. It's not like we have one or two pitchers not pitching well. We have five of them not pitching well. And, I've always liked Swihart. I mean, he hasn't had a lot of contributions, but he's always been a real nice guy. And they cut ties with him 2 days ago. And the word behind the scene was he's really not handling pitchers that well. So they said, we'll bring Leon up. So they brought him up, and lo and behold, the Yankees score 7 or 8 runs with him catching. So I don't think he was the answer, too. So I think Cora right now is kind of scratching for answers. I just don't see continuity going with that team. There's not like, well, the bullpen's doing good, but the bullpen's stinking it up, the starting pitching, the defense, and the hitting. We have trouble moving runners. We have trouble getting on base. And the thing that bothers me is there's a lot of veterans on the team, and this sometimes, when things aren't going good, can be pretty harmful. I think it would be a little easier to get younger players psyched back up to start playing better ball. So, no, I'm in agreement 100% with you, David.
Now, caller, I told you perhaps it might be time for me to educate myself on Tampa. They're currently 13-4, 5.5 games in front already. It's only April 19th. Now, listen to this pitching staff. The reigning Cy Young Award winner, a guy at this point last year, I didn't even know who he was. Blake Snell's ERA's 2.16.
Just went on the IR too, by the way.
Oh, he did.
Hurt his toe, broke his.
Yeah, he's only
broke his toe
going
in
to
the
miss one
shower.
start.
.76 whip. Tyler Glasnow, who I think originally played for the Pirates, 1.13 ERA, .88 whip. Charlie Morton, who's probably 35 years old, 2.18 ERA, 1.16 whip. A guy named Ryan Stanek, 2.16 ERA, .84 whip. And last one, Yanni Chernonis. He's got a 4.4 ERA, but his whip's at .98. I think I saw the other day their team ERA is around 2.25. Ridiculous. And again, like
and
I
they
said,
have for a closer Alvarez that it's almost unhittable. And they also have a guy, his last name is Casillo, that is a setup man, which could be a closer.
Yeah,
and these guys, what I like, they're scrappy and they're deep. There's a lot of like platooning. This guy will play second today, short tomorrow, and Cash really moves those players around good, and they're very, very effective. He just good old-fashioned baseball.
Yeah. Now Chris Sale, and he says he stinks right now. He's manning up to it. ERA of 8.50, WHIP of 1.56. Nathan Eovaldi 8.40, 1.87 WHIP. Erod, 7.98, 1.70 whip. David Price, he's got a 3.79 ERA, which is fine, but not for a $31 million a year pitcher.
And you forget Porcello, too.
Porcello's 11.12. Listen, his whip, 3.00.
Wow.
So, pitching.
Back to my point, it's not like you're trying to correct one or two pitchers. It's a whole staff. And what's scaring me with Chris Sale, they were saying, well, his speed isn't up. Well, he's got his speed back up, but it's his location.
Yeah. Now,
it's
Caller, let me ask
horrendous.
you this. Let me ask you this as a lifelong Red Sox fan. You won 108 ball games last year. You won the World Series. Is it a real big deal if you have an off season this year after the year you had last year?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I've always said to you, I mean, a Super Bowl, a World Series is fantastic, but what I like is just being competitive.
Yeah.
I don't like being 100 games out of first place. I like during the course of the year a series with the Yankees or Blue Jays to mean something. You fall too far behind. To me, I guess I'm not a true fan, but I start to lose interest. I don't need the World Series, but I just want to make the playoffs and make the season interesting.
Yeah.
I think, caller, to just show you that I can always look at both sides of an issue. I think with the Red Sox, especially with their pitchers, because they pitched so late in the year last year and they pitched so much, I think that they hardly pitch those guys in spring training. They're all like 6 weeks later than they ought to be.
Yeah.
And I think like with Sale last night, at least he had his velocity. He gets another couple, 2-3 starts. I think the Red Sox will, if they can get these guys pitching halfway decent, the team will come around. Because Mookie Betts isn't going to hit 210 for the rest of the season. And but their bullpen is still leaky.
Yeah.
But their starters, I got a feeling Evaldi and Porcello, they'll pitch better. You can't pitch that bad for the whole season.
Now, caller, question for you. Any chance of the Red Sox giving a phone call to Craig Kimbrell?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't even think we could have used him. We're behind 7-0 in every ball game. We never would have got to him.
I heard today that Atlanta really should get him because they lost their closer.
Okay.
Their closer's on a deal for the season.
And I can tell you right now, the Nats bullpen, other than Sean Doolittle, who's got 3 wins and a save, has not given up a run all year. He's great. The rest of the bullpen, I mean, everybody on the Nats, this bullpen is going to keep them out of the playoffs. Their 8th inning, they've blown so many games. They're 7-8 right now. They've blown so many games in the 8th inning. It's been ridiculous. I think the ERA in the 8th inning for the Nats is right around 9. I think
what you're talking about is epidemic all over. The Yankees have been ahead in 15 out of 16 games. And what's their record? 7-9? So the pitching is just terrible right now all through the major leagues.
The Nats bullpen, Wander Suero, 6.75 ERA. Justin Miller, 5.68. Matt Grace, 8.53. Tony Sipp, who they got from Houston, free agent, 13.50. Joe Ross, 11.57. Trevor Rosenthal, who had Tommy John last year, gave a 1-year, $7 million contract. 40.5.
40 ERA.
Yeah, 40.50. He pitched last night, gave up a run.
It's been so cold up north. It's hard to pitch in this weather.
Yeah. So the Nats bullpen, I don't have the adjectives to describe how bad. So every game, even if we're behind, I still have interest just to see this bullpen. And again, they're just really yanking this guy. Rosenthal gave up a run last night. Oh, he looks so much better tonight.
What if you say you don't start the baseball season till Memorial Day? Is that?
Well, no. My thing is you can't win a pennant in April, but you
you
sure
can
can
lose
lose
it,
one.
right.
Because the game tonight counts just as much. What's the 19th, 17th today? Counts just as much as the game of September 17th.
Well, they were talking yesterday. I was reading some stuff. California Angels in 2003, when they won the World Series, started off 16-19, ended up winning 99 games.
Okay.
There's 2005, wasn't the Astros? Maybe it was the Astros. They started off like 15-25, and they ended up with 99 wins.
And Astros, by the way, are on a 10-game winning streak.
Yeah, they're good.
The best record in baseball, but that's not a shock to anybody.
But I think you gotta get through April, and then by the middle of May, things will start showing up.
And I will tell you this: Seattle got off.
Yeah, this time with the bullpen so bad, you almost cringe. Your starter has gone 6 innings, given up a run or two, and he'll come into the 7th, walk the first batter. Then the manager comes out and pulls him, gets into the bullpen. The opposition scores 3 or 4 runs. Unless your starter is getting his brains pounded out, just leave him in there since the bullpen isn't pitching well.
And I'll say it again.
You can throw away the book once in a while and go with your gut,
There's a reason why a relief pitcher is a relief pitcher, because he's not good enough to be a starter. I can assure you, every relief pitcher in Major League Baseball was a star in high school. Okay.
Yeah.
And they probably were starters in college. If they went to college, then at some point in the minors, they get converted to a relief pitcher. But unlike you, caller, one guy gets on in the 7th inning, then the bullpen just rips it up. The Seattle Mariners.
Okay, I'll let you guys go, and you guys have a happy Easter.
Thank you. Happy Easter to you too.
So, David, I still think the Red Sox and the Yankees will both make the playoffs, because the fact of the matter is the American League, Houston's a powerhouse, best team in baseball.
Right now.
Yeah. Cleveland is going to win the Central. Because
well, I'm not sure. Minnesota, they say, is pretty good.
Well, Twinkies are 8-6, half game out.
How about Detroit? Aren't they?
Detroit's 8-8, but they really don't have a team. And the American League East is very weak. Baltimore stinks. The Blue Jays are horrible. Now, the Rays, the callers got a lot of confidence in them. So, for the sake of this conversation, we'll say the Rays will be in there. So just say the Rays win that division. I don't think they will, but I would think the Yankees and Red Sox would be the...
I think what'll happen when you get to the middle of summer...
And David, the Yankees have 12 guys on the disabled list. Greg Bird went on today, I think. But the Yankees are only 2 games under 500. So if this is worse they're going to play, that's not a bad... start.
Well, their starting pitching has to be better.
Yes, I know.
And I'll tell you what, that Paxton looked like a stud last night. Yes,
he did.
He pitched like a first-line pitcher.
Yeah. You want to win your games, but, the Red Sox are what, 6-12? Well, they might have went 6-12 in June or July. Every team, except for the Red Sox last year, when you win 108, you don't get a slump. But for the most part, every team will go through a down period. And it just so happens their down period is right now. And you're right, David. I agree with you. Mookie's not going to hit 210 the whole season. Chris Sale will find his way. So the Red Sox aren't going to win 108. They may win 93. But I think just do what you need to do to make the playoffs. Then you and go into 5th gear.
Their pitching is not, and pitching was supposedly their strong suit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, David, big money. Who got big money? Who are the 2 guys that got really big money this winter?
Machado and Harper.
Okay, so Manny Machado, sitting out in San Diego, hitting .254.
Okay.
Bryce Harper, in the city of brotherly
I know
love.
he started off hot.
He started off red hot, and he's fallen off a cliff. He's hitting .262, okay? I'm sorry, but Philadelphia Citizens Bank Ballpark is a hitter. He's got 4 home runs, 10 RBIs, Harper, and Machado's got 4 home runs, 8 RBIs. But me thinks you boys really need to hit
What about
Eric, let me tell you, remember the Padres last season signed Eric Hosmer during the year? And we both are like, whoa, that was they gave him a ton
overpaid.
He's hitting 193 or 197 right now. You got to be careful. And we've discussed the Red Sox a couple weeks ago. Brilliant move getting Xavier Bogaerts signed for $20 million a year. Extremely fair deal. Let Mookie go. Mookie's going to want $35 million.
Well, they were talking tonight just before I came over on MLB. Let's see the pitchers that got extensions before the season. Sale.
Yep.
He's pitched like a
right.
slug. Jacob deGrom, who's God last year.
He went a 20-game streak of 3 or less runs. Incredible pitching.
He's pitching terrible.
Yeah.
He's pitching like that guy that the Red Sox threw in there in the 6th inning last night. There's another guy that they gave an extension to, a pitcher, and he's on the DL. And, of course, if you look at the Yankees, they gave an extension to Severino.
Mm-hmm.
He could be done for the season. Who knows with that guy?
Yeah.
Betances.
He's out for a while.
He's out for a while. And both Betances and Severino both have had setbacks.
Yeah.
You think they're starting to get better, and then they get.
Now, who's got the rotator cuff problem? Is that Severino?
So no, the rotator cuff problem is the third baseman, Andujar.
Okay. I think we might, David, have another phone call.
We got another call?
Well, but he's smiling in there, so I doubt if it's a call.
Maybe it's not for us.
Yeah. So I'm going to wait
Maybe
about
it's a
3 more
personal call.
seconds. Then I'm going to jump from the diamond to the gridiron. So apparently not. All right, David. The NFL is releasing their schedule tonight at 8 o'clock. NFL Network, channel 7.
Giants start off with Dallas.
Right. So we already, being the sport experts that we are, again, and boy, I'm upset. And I talked to my youngest brother, who's a Cowboy fan. We absolutely hate playing each other. Such an important game, the first game of the season. Do we have a call, Dave?
Is that caller for us?
It is.
Okay.
Then I will put the sheet down and say, hello, you're on the best damn sports show in Franklin County.
Hey, you guys. How are you? Greetings from Sakalina.
Wow. How are you?
I'm good. Dave, how was Lebanon? I'll hear all about it when I get back. Good trip, I trust?
It was fantastic. We did a whole travel log on it last Wednesday. It was the best damn sports show from Beirut.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, don't repeat it, but I look forward to hearing about it. I think I grabbed you for one show before we lose you to Wednesday night golf when I'm back. I'll see you May 1st, I trust.
Yes.
That's your last show.
Yeah. And if it rains, I'm on. But last year it never rained.
No.
So should I set the stage for you guys?
Yeah.
And I'm glad to hear you had a nice day up there. I'm on the beach at Hilton Head Island. I'm in my usual spot for cocktail hours, so to speak. I'm in front of the Holiday Inn, which is on the beach. I'm not staying here. I'm about 10 minutes away, but looking out at the Atlantic Ocean, boy, amazing. I can't believe how big these container ships are. Yeah. For like 3 days, I've been looking at them, just kind of going into nearby Savannah Harbor. But, man, these ships are so big. But it's high tide. I saw my first dolphins yesterday. I swam a couple hours ago. Water temp's about 70. The air temp's about 70, so hard to complain. And the RBC Heritage gets underway tomorrow, so life is good.
Duke, how'd you like the Masters?
Yeah, the Masters. Boy, the time when I was here in 2001, that was just totally magical. I was here for the whole tournament. When Tiger must love my presence. He won a course in 2001, fending off challenges from Phil Mickelson and David Duval. I just put in an appearance on Friday, but it was the weather wasn't great. I don't know if you probably watched some Friday. Weather wasn't great, and I was there courtesy of long story, but I was with a friend of a friend, but said friend who's got an Augusta, Georgia connection. I just moved back to Augusta from Seattle, and his brother was in Augusta. He moved back, nice guy, so he could be close to his father. His parents live in Augusta, and his father's got Alzheimer's. But anyway, and it was raining in the morning. It was about a 3-hour drive from where I was staying in South Carolina. I fought my way into Augusta by about 9 a.m. Kind of rainy, but we made it to the golf course, and the Masters folks, these are just the most together folks. I mean, it's unreal how they've got it down. But before I get into golf, guess what? The egg salad. I bought one thing at the Masters. Sorry, Hawk, no more markers. I didn't go into didn't get anything except for one egg salad sandwich, a delicious egg salad sandwich, and guess how much that cost me?
$2.50.
Very good guess. About $1.50. I don't think the price was up from,
Oh my God.
Almost 20 years ago.
Wow. How
How
about a beer?
Dave,
Yeah. How much
my
was?
friend Dave, who I was there with, said there was a bit of some controversy a couple of years ago when they raised the price of beer. I love this. From all of $2.50 to $3. I could have gotten probably a Bud Light or something like that for $3.
Really?
I mean, you can get in there and get a good lunch for under $10. And I mentioned that on the air. I love these guys. They just like being different than anybody else. Anyway, it was great. I wasn't there that long. We were mostly camped out on the fifth hole. Probably the most noteworthy thing was my friend Dave and I were right kind of in landing distance on the fifth hole, which is a hole they added by about 40 yards. It's
Right.
a tough hole anyway. And the green, I don't think TV picks it up. There's an incredible hump mound on the right side of the green. If you're on the wrong side of that, good luck. We saw about 4 groups come up, and just about one person in every group just tried to get it over that hump, and it would just kind of come back at them. Anyway, but Bernard Langer is teeing off, and my friend Dave sees a guy waving kind of our way and says, "Richard, watch out, it might be coming our way." We both kind of duck. We're about a foot apart. The ball literally came down right between us at about knee level, just a couple feet away. So we missed being hit by Mr. Langer by like an inch or two. But anyway, it was good to get back. But 2001 was just magical. I was here for the whole tourney with good weather. But hey, it was good to get back.
So you're
And all praise to Tiger. How many times did I say Tiger's never winning a major again and stuff? Unreal, a great effort by Tiger. I did kind of get OD'd on Tiger Mania by Sunday night, probably by about 10 o'clock. But
Yeah.
Hey, incredible sports story. What can you say?
Yeah. And
Great job, although 4 of the 5 guys hitting into the water at number 12, I mean, geez, give me a break. I mean, Brooks Koepka doesn't hit it into the water there, and he probably wins the thing. Anyway, such is sports.
You know what, Duke? The guy I felt worse for the whole tournament was Adam Scott, because I watched all 4 rounds.
Yeah.
He hit the ball better than anybody. He missed.
Putting, God, he just couldn't make those putts.
He can't putt worth a crap. He's a worse putter than I am.
Maybe even a worse putter than me, and that's saying a lot. Right. That's a great point. Had he made half of those 5 to 10 footers, he would have won his second Masters. That's a great point.
Because he was hitting a ball like a champ.
Yeah.
And I think it wears on you by the third day of missing all those 4 footers. And I think you
got to
just
get
say,
in your head.
Yeah. But
that's a good point, Dave. Good point. But I'll see a bunch of guys. The RBC Heritage starts here in Hilton Head tomorrow. And then I'll see a bunch of good players. Xander Schauffele, he was in the mix. He could have won it.
Oh, yeah.
So here's some back-to-back-to-back threesomes that I'll catch tomorrow. Scott Piercy, no big star. Ian Poulter, I like Ian. Ian had a good Masters. Brian Harmon, who's a local guy, followed by Matt Kuchar, Bryson DeChambeau, Satoshi Kodera, who's the Japanese guy who won here last year, which got him into the Masters. He made the cut, I think. Followed by Kevin Kisner, Dustin Johnson, Xander Schauffele, followed by Billy Horschel, Patrick Hanley, Zach Johnson. And then on the other side, Francesco Molinari, the machine guy, whose machine finally came apart, Webb Simpson, Jordan Spieth. So I got some good golf starting tomorrow.
Duke, did you say Dustin Johnson's playing?
He's playing, and in fairness, he's maybe only playing Hawk because he's a representative of RBC, Royal Bank of Canada, and they're probably the second biggest sponsor of the RBC Heritage.
Okay,
so
I'm shocked.
I'd probably have to say, if you weren't connected to RBC, I'm not sure we'd be seeing Dustin.
Well, I
but
think
he is here. He is, and he is.
Wow.
I think too, Richard. With the season being so compressed, the players don't have the luxury of taking off as many weeks as they used to.
Yeah, really. I mean, how far away is the PGA? Not so far.
What are we, 4 or 5 weeks?
Yeah.
May 16th.
And again, Tiger. Hey, all praise to Tiger. I can't believe he got back to this level. But now, of course, you're hearing so much talk about, well, just maybe he will break Jack. I would just say, hold your horses on that, folks. For one thing, he knows Augusta National so intimately. It's not like any of the other majors are like that. I mean, he just knows Augusta National so well. I mean, who knows what happens? But for all the folks who now think, hey, wow, Tiger is going to get past Jack, I would say, don't go too crazy on that. But hey, what can I say?
Yeah, but
the guy
Duke,
turned in a great job.
With the PGA only literally 1 month away. If he can stay hot for 1 month. And where's the PGA being played this year?
It's not.
I know that, and I'm spacing out.
Of course, he knows too.
Where is it?
Well, let's see. The U.S. Open is at
U.S. Open's at Pebble Beach.
At Pebble Beach.
Yeah. I think it's a very well-known course, but I'm totally spacing on that.
Bethpage.
I'm sorry, thank you. Bethpage, exactly.
Pennsylvania?
Bethpage, no, it's on Long Island.
Tiger has won before.
Okay.
Nice. Good job, Dave. Yeah, Bethpage.
You know what else, Richard? The thing about the Masters that made it so interesting on Sunday is that all these guys managed to get in the lead by 50 after 15. They all got bogeys on 16 and 17 and 18. Yeah. Guys like Cantlay and Shuffley.
Cantlay, who's here. Yeah, Cantlay had the lead, I think, by 1 stroke at one point there. Yeah.
Unlike the last few years, like with Schwartzel, where he birdied the last 4 holes, or even Danny Willett. The guys all grabbed the tournament and won. Though I think Tiger, to give the devil his due, 16 when he birdied that hole, he only had a tap in.
That was key.
That was huge.
When he almost had the hole in one on 16, that nailed it. Although when he got the birdie on 15, I said it's over. Tiger's got it, but it may be that he did indeed need that birdie on 16. Like I said, had Koepka made the putt, what was that, about a 10-footer on 18? That wasn't a real long putt. Had he made that, we're talking presumably a playoff.
Well, the other thing that they were mentioning on TV is that a couple of the holes have brand new greens, one of them being 18. And I don't think it broke as consistently as it has in the past. Yeah. And because we've seen that putt on Sunday, and you know which way it breaks all the time, but it didn't break for Koepka.
Yeah.
But
Koepka's good. Koepka's very, I think he could certainly make the case he's the best guy out there these days. Yep. I mean, he and DJ are right up there. Yep. Yeah, I mean, talking great golfers.
And DJ almost won it, except and you wouldn't even know he was out there.
Yep.
Right, kind of under the radar the whole way. And I love DJ. He's such kind of an aw shucks, He's not he comes across as such a regular guy in interviews and stuff. It's hard not to like DJ. Good guy. It'll be fun to see him here.
Fowler made quite a push on Sunday too. Wasn't he 11 under, 12
Ricky's
under
always
one time?
Close. Yeah.
I didn't see it.
No, there was a lot of action. It was fantastic, but the world's toughest par 3 is a 150-yard hole, that number 13 or number 12.
Yeah, number 12.
That is a killer.
Yeah, unreal. Again, 4 out of 5 guys.
And those guys aren't scrubs.
Unbelievable.
They're really good golfers.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Duke,
anyway, it was fun.
Did you have an opportunity to see Tim Bowen?
Oh, I did. To be honest, I've seen him once on the show Hawk, no, I didn't. I'm
Okay.
not, to be honest, I'm not sure I'd even recognize him if I saw him.
He was
No,
on
not
TV.
even
We
close.
all made a screenshot of him on TV.
Oh, he was on TV?
We,
Brian,
he
was
won
number
on
two,
Sunday.
correct?
What hole?
Number
Two.
Number two.
Two.
Yeah, no, I wasn't there. No, it didn't come close to seeing him.
So
Anyway, but there's so much. Again, I won't take all your time, but God, I've been watching a fair amount of Stanley Cup. Unreal. So much for winning the President's Cup, right?
well, Duke.
Unreal. Tampa Bay's out. And the Bruins are on shaky ground. The Isles sweep on unreal Stanley Cup.
Duke, it's unreal for Boston. I mean, I know they're down 2-1. They're playing as we speak right now in Toronto. Needless to say,
they get Columbus if they happen to win that series.
Right, and I know
Maybe
Columbus
no bargain.
just got a sweep. This is one of the greatest upsets of all time.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay literally had one of the most historic seasons in NHL's history. I figured Columbus might win one game, and they go and sweep. So if Boston can get by the Leafs, they have Columbus the next round. And my guess, probably in the Eastern Conference Finals, will be the reigning Stanley Cup champion Washington Capitals.
Yeah,
so, but
Hawk, I would hardly assume. Again, I considered Bruins Leafs before they dropped the first puck a toss-up series.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
If Toronto wins tomorrow night in Toronto, forget it.
Well, I thought they're playing right now.
No, tomorrow they played last night. Tomorrow night, the Celtics are playing right now.
Okay. Well,
Yankees, Red Sox are playing right now.
Yeah,
What's the score of that game?
Toronto was last night.
No, I've got the Celtics recording.
No, but the Red Sox and the Yankees.
Oh, okay.
Red Sox and Yankees are playing right now. God, what about the? God, thanks for Blake Swihart's gone on. They tossed him out, huh?
Yeah, they needed a better defensive catcher. We always knew Swihart was poor behind the plate, so they brought Sandy.
Christian Vasquez hasn't been doing any better.
No.
I mean, the starting pitching, which some folks consider the best in the majors, I'm sure you would have said, no, it's my Nets, but unreal.
Yeah.
There's got to be a bit of a freak out in Boston right now, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. All the ERAs of the Red Sox starting pitchers were up around 8.
Right. David Price, one good game out of the starters, one good game from David Price. But for the record, the last time the Red Sox won the World Series, I believe they ended up in last place the next season.
I think you're right.
I think that's happening again. But.
From first to worst. Yep, you're right.
As a matter of fact, they've done that twice now.
Yep, you're right, Duke.
But really, really weird, yeah. It's probably just as well I don't have my Boston papers every day right now.
So,
anyway. Hey, listen, I probably shouldn't take up any more of your time, but good to talk to you. Congratulations. I trust you and your great wife, Donna, survived yet another tax season. You survived.
We did, and I was telling David, a gift to me was God presented us with an absolutely gorgeous day today. Sunny skies.
Like a good day. Great.
55 degrees. And tomorrow we're going to have a cloudy and 25-mile-an-hour wind throughout the day. And Friday's going to be rain. Saturday, the golf course is scheduled to be open.
Oh, really? I was going to ask you, this Saturday?
Yep, so I'll be out there at 5:45.
Wow, excellent.
So, okay, excellent. Duke. Thank
you. You guys. Take care. Good to talk to you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Hey, is there a regular season that means less than the regular season in the NHL?
David, you say that to me every year, and I have to say you're right, because the coach of Tampa Bay, John Cooper, great coach. I really love this guy. But to me, they're going to sit back, have a meeting, and say, hey, let's pull back the reins on these horses, and instead of getting 128 points, let's just try to maybe get 105 points and not kill ourselves during the season. I mean, again, it was an historic season. I would have bet you my life. No. Columbus, the only reason Columbus made the playoffs, David, the 8th seed, the dreaded position. Nobody wanted to play Tampa. They beat Montreal 10 days before the end of the season. I said that is the playoffs.
You got another caller.
That's the playoffs for these guys. And Columbus beat Montreal that night,
it was incredible.
6-2. Good evening. You're on the Best Damn Sports Show in Franklin County. Hello.
No doubt about it.
Hello, Leonard. Now,
Well, a few things. First off, I caught part of Richard, not a lot, but I know he's traveling, and I caught his very brilliant son Ian yesterday at the St. Albans Free Library giving a pictorial display of a trip with his mother Carolyn to the Middle East recently, and he's either 14 or 15 years old, and he's a very polished young man. He's homeschooled and did a very excellent job. So I wish I could have, got to Richard firsthand on that. But I'll see him, I'm sure, down the road and mention that to him. And speaking of trips, I followed David's trip to Lebanon on Facebook, and he's a quick learner because he got Facebook down quick. And it was, I was, how I like to travel, and I've posted a lot of pictures around the world, and I was very impressed with Lebanon. It looked like quite a place to visit. A lot of Roman ruins. I didn't know it had that many Roman ruins.
I didn't either.
That was, very, very interesting.
It was
great fun. What I want to call about it, Nighthawk, if you were a general manager right now in Major League Baseball, and you had one young ball player you could put your hands on, who would you put it on?
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Oh, God, no. You're so far off base.
Well,
Ronald Acuna Jr.
The guy's a homer.
I've never, ever seen a 21-year-old guy with the strike zone knowledge that this guy has. He does not chase. He simply does not chase. You might get him occasionally, but you have to throw him a strike. And he's 21 years old. He has 460-foot home runs. I mean, they signed him up for, I guess we got him for 9-10 years at $100 million.
Yeah.
I'm 70 years old in July. I hope to live to be 80 and watch him. He's a Hall of Famer. I mean, I've never seen a 21-year-old kid. He's better than Bryce Harper. I mean, Harper doesn't know the strike zone. This guy does not swing at anything but strike.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Leonard. Let's go revisit this in 5 years.
Exactly.
Because a lot of these guys, I'll give you an example. The guys the Yankees have, this Gleyber Torres, who, when he first came up last year, was hitting the ball to all fields, being very fussy. Now they're a lot looser. You look at these guys, when they get a big contract, they start hitting them for a little power. They forget all about all that stuff.
And the other young player, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
We haven't seen him yet.
Yeah.
I mean, really, we haven't seen him yet. He's still a prospect. He's a suspect until he comes up and plays. And really, he's a great prospect.
The number one ranked prospect in all of baseball.
Well, Acuna was before he came up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you don't watch Acuna every night.
Well,
I watched amazed.
I watched Victor Robles, who's 21 years old, and he looks darn good to me as well.
In my opinion, I'm just saying, I know I'm a homer. But
you're a homer.
I think I'm pretty objective. I've seen a lot of baseball. Yeah. I've never seen a kid like this at 21 years old. And I've never seen a kid at 21 years old have fun like he's only 14.
Yeah.
He's
now,
like
Leonard,
he's in Little League.
I have a question for you. A caller earlier, we brought up Craig Kimbrell. The Washington Nationals bullpen is horrifically bad.
Not as bad as the Braves.
No, we're worse than yours.
We're pretty bad.
No, we have Sean Doolittle. I went through the Nats bullpen earlier in the show with their ERAs, Trevor Rosenthal, who used to be a great relief pitcher, and he was out last year with Tommy John. We gave him a 1-year contract. He currently resides with a 40.50 ERA.
Oh, and the bullpens are awful.
The Nats are 7-8, and they probably should be, probably 11-4 right now if we had a bullpen.
Well, we were up 5-2 last night. Great pitching performance by Max Fried.
Yep.
Turns it over to the bullpen. The first guy comes in, hits 2 batters, and walks a guy.
Yeah.
Now, we give up 7 runs in 3 innings in the bullpen.
The caller,
and you may have not heard this because this is brand new. I mean, their closer is out for the year.
Yep.
He's got shoulder surgery.
Yep. But that's what the caller said. The Braves closer is gone, and that they may be interested in signing Craig Kimbrell.
Actually,
Well,
that was
again,
from one of
everybody's,
your staff members.
if you sign Kimbrel right now, best case scenario, he's not ready to play until the end of May. He's got to go through extended spring training.
Well, Len, I'm presuming he's throwing every day.
Not based on what I've read.
Okay, perhaps.
Based on what I've read, that's not the case.
No, Leonard.
I mean, so, everybody wants to wait until after the draft so they don't have to give up a second-round pick, and then it's going to be a bidding war.
That's the problem, and that's the reason why he's not signed. Not just for the money, but they don't want to. So what do you think Kimbrel will end up signing for? We all know during the winter he wanted $100 million.
Oh, not going to happen. Not even close. Not even close. 3 years, maybe 50, 60 million at the most.
I don't
and of course, they're going to prorate
$30 million.
the first year. He's going to miss half the first year almost.
Yeah.
So I mean, he just, and of course, as you know now, and all Scott Boras and his ilk, they're so upset because they don't pay you anymore for what you did. They pay you for what you think you're going to do.
Yeah.
That's the new metrics. You know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Kimbrel left a sour taste in everybody's mouth coming off the playoffs.
Yep. Yep.
And that's another reason why he's not getting the big bucks.
Yeah.
Because, but certainly the Braves could use him. There's no question about it. And they'll be in the hunt if he goes as far as after the draft. But the Braves, quite frankly, I'm surprised. They're better than I thought they would be.
Yep.
Right now, they're a hitting machine.
Yeah. And Leonard, I wrote to you that the window is closing rapidly, both in Washington and Philadelphia. You talk about Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, all you want. The Atlanta Braves are so loaded in the minor leagues. That
they're there. They could lose 5 starting pitchers right now, and they could bring up 5 from the minor leagues and not be embarrassed.
Because even all these hot prospects, even only 50% work out, the Atlanta Braves will be the team of the future 2 years from now for the next 10 years.
Yeah, well, they may already be if they get a bullpen. And this they got the best defensive outfielder in the minor leagues in this Christian Pache.
Yeah, I know.
I saw him play in the minor league. I saw him play in spring training.
Yep.
And he's filling out. He's starting to. He's going to be a 20 homer, 20 steal guy, hit over 300, and play, Gold Glove defense. I mean, they're loaded. They got this kid Drew Waters, another outfielder, 5-tool star. I don't know why they're so worried about their second-round pick. They have 2 number 1s coming up this year, and I'd lose a second-round pick if I could get Kimbrel at a reasonable price right now for 3 years because we do need him. Yeah.
Now
we do need him.
The Nationals losing Bryce Harper, which to me was not a huge deal because we had
Bryce Harper.
We had Victor Robles
for him. Way over. You can't. Nobody. Mike Trout is the best player in baseball simply because he's the total package, character and play.
Oh, I agree. But I will also guarantee you, Leonard, that Bryce Harper will hit minimum 40 home runs this year.
Well, in Philadelphia, if he doesn't, it'll be a surprise.
Right. At that ballpark,
but their bullpen is very suspect.
Oh, absolutely. And they sent one of their starting pitchers, Nick Pivetta, down the minors.
Right, I saw that.
Their pitching has not been good. It's kind of the epidemic in baseball this year is pitching or their lack of.
The NL East, I think, will go down probably to the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
They're pretty bunch. Unless if the Braves get themselves a legit bullpen, I think they're probably the best team in the NL East. They really are. I mean, they're all hitting. And what's his name is starting to hit, Donaldson.
Yeah.
And if he has a Donaldson-type year, I mean, watch out.
We thought that was the worst signing in baseball. The Braves signed him
$24 million, I think,
prematurely. If they would have waited a month, they could have had him for half that price.
Yeah, but it's only for a year.
Yeah, just 1 year. Now, before the Duke called, David and I were just talking about the Giants' first game of the year. The Dallas Cowboys.
Are they playing Dallas again?
Dallas again Sunday at 4:25 in the afternoon.
Dallas?
In Dallas. I'm so sick and tired of playing Dallas. It's
How many years in a row now has that been the
6
case?
out of the last 8 years.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't really get that. But it's all about ratings, and they know that's a big draw.
Well, New England, who's their biggest rivalry in the American Conference? The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, Pittsburgh at New England, first week, Sunday night. Why are you putting the premier games of the season the first week? The Giants play the Buffalo Bills the second week. Why aren't we playing Buffalo the first week?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, hey, I'm not smart enough to know what those guys think, but the draft's coming up here in what 8
Next
days?
Thursday.
Did you see Russell
8 days,
Wilson sign a
and
big contract?
so I always enjoy that, and it'll be interesting. Mock drafts mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
I'm with you. We talked about this a little bit. The Giants are not going to draft a quarterback with that first round pick. They may on the second first round pick.
Yeah, I think, Leonard, that they'll take Duke quarterback Daniel Jones will be available to them at the 17th overall pick. They will go with an edge rusher, either Montez Sweat or Rashawn Gary.
And they'll go with an offensive lineman first pick in the third round.
Second round,
rather.
Dalton Reisner, remember that name, might be available for them to pick. But they seem somewhat enamored with Daniel Jones.
Right. I'd prefer the other kid there. Was it Luck or?
Yeah, Drew Luck. I think,
but he won't be there at all.
I think he'll be picked before.
You mean from Missouri?
From Missouri, yeah.
Yeah, I've watched the films on these guys, and this Luck. I mean, he's got something Eli never had. That little 5-8 yard swing pass. He's got such a great soft touch.
Yeah.
On that pass, it's unbelievable. Yeah. A lot of quarterbacks can't really throw that with touch, and that guy's got touch. But of course, what you got from the Duke guy is you got obviously a pretty brilliant guy mentally. So,
yeah.
And
hey, the last Duke quarterback we had stunk.
Do you remember that we drafted?
Well, help me out. I'm getting old.
Yep, we drafted in the supplemental draft.
First pick too.
Dave Brown from Duke.
Oh, God, yes. I remember
and that was at
yeah.
the tail end of Phil Simms' career.
Yes.
And I'm saying, I want to see Dave Brown. He's 6'5", good-looking guy.
Yeah.
I said, he looks good in the uniform. Put him behind center. Put Golden Boy Phil Simms down. And they told Phil, you're done. Dave Brown's our quarterback. And David's right. This guy was a stinker.
Awful.
Sent the Giants back 5-6 years.
But mock drafts are worthless.
Well,
I mean, they'll get the first 3 or 4 right, but after that, I don't put much stock in mock drafts. And there's a lot of quarterbacks out there that, other than the ones we're even talking about, the Giants might have their eye on.
Yeah.
There's a few others.
But, Leonard, there's going to be a plethora of trades going on next Thursday night. So you are correct about mock drafts. Because once the draft starts, I mean, the Giants could very easily trade their second pick, position number 37, for Josh Rosen from Arizona. That could happen.
But everything I read in the Post says that they're not that high on Rosen.
Well, again, one thing that every team has in common this time of the year called smoke screens.
Oh, yeah, I know. You never know. We won't know until next Thursday night.
Yeah.
But you're right. I do agree with you. I think there'll be a lot of maneuvering by different teams.
Yeah, I think Washington's going to move up to get a quarterback.
Well, they were talking tonight, or I read somewhere that, of course, Arizona looks like they're in on Skyler Murray. But they're saying if they don't take him, he may not even go in the first round because nobody else really wants him.
He could slip. Oakland may have some interest. Oakland may move up to the first position. But if Oakland and Arizona are not interested, he could slide.
Well, I tell you what.
He could slide to the Giants.
He's an athlete.
Kyler Murray is going to go in the first round somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. But David's right. If Oakland or Arizona don't take him, he could slide to New York at number 17. But I don't think he will.
Oh, no. The way that Arizona owner talked about him, I'd be dumbfounded if they don't take
agree.
him. I mean, he's like, he's like Baker Mayfield. I mean, he's the Heisman winner. Nobody thought he'd go number 1. He went number 1.
Yeah.
And he turned out to be pretty good.
So Leonard, the highlights of your Florida trip.
Great time, great weather. 8 days. Played golf 6 straight days, 6 different courses.
Wow.
Just drive around the state, pick a golf course and play. Stay in a different place every night, pretty much. Can't beat it.
Did you go alone, or did Diane go with you?
But Diane went with me, but she ended up in Fort Lauderdale on the beach, and I like to play golf. So.
Okay.
And so we spent the first night and the last night together in a hotel, and other than that, we were doing our own thing.
Yeah.
And I went and saw a Queen tribute band Monday night, Diane and I, down at the Paramount in Rutland.
Oh,
and,
yep.
They were very good, and
yep.
I'm trying to think. Here's some local news. I know David has his ear to youth hockey, but CC Delorier, this is Adam's daughter, I believe.
Yep.
She won a national championship with the Pittsburgh Pens Elite team. They played out in California, the 14U team. They won a national championship. She's on that team recently. That's within the last couple of weeks. And I can't say I know the young lady, but...
she's the last time I saw her play, and it was a few years ago, she's a peanut, but she was a beautiful skater.
Must be. I mean,
yeah,
obviously.
she's a beautiful skater.
They're talking maybe a prep school now.
I don't know. They're people don't leave their kids around here anymore.
I know your feelings on all this, and I'm not an aficionado of any type on this. So I mean, hey, whatever. I mean, whatever you want to do, what you do. And Adam's got a son who plays down in the Boston area on an elite team and lives with the coach. And
no, I wish all of them the best. I think it's God bless them, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Well, they're
playing
trying
hockey.
to do obviously what's best for they think their kids, and God bless them. I mean, and if you have the resources, hey, who's to say? I mean, it's just what parents want to do today, and so I wish them the best, and it's their decision, and it's a great learning experience one way or another, and so what else do I have on my mind? Baseball. What's sad, Hawk? We're almost 10% through the season already.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's sad.
Yep. But you know what I like?
I haven't even gotten into my easy chair yet.
Yeah.
Where,
Len, when I die and go straight to heaven, the first thing I'm going to say to God is, thanks for the invention of the DVR. As I sit here, I've got the Nats being recorded. I've got the Celtic game being recorded. So I'm going to have some fun tonight.
Oh, you will. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, I'll pick up the Braves here. They've already started, obviously. I'll pick them up here in a bit. And, but it'll be interesting. The Braves, as I see it, I think they're good enough to hang around. And as they get longer into the season here before the trade deadline, they've got a lot of maneuverability with trade, bait, as well as money.
Yeah. Well, Len, one thing I don't like about Atlanta is they don't open up their pocketbook enough.
Well, that's Liberty Media. I mean,
they're waiting.
They're making all kinds of money. I mean, they've made tons of money the last 2 years. And you're right. They're not a baseball team. But again, a lot of teams that open up, let's say the Dodgers spend about as much as anybody, and they haven't won a World Series in a long time.
Well, they've been in it the last 2 years.
Well, you can say the same for my 14-year division title winners. They've been in it a lot. They only won one.
They were only in 2 World Series.
5, I believe, if you'll check the record. They were in 5 World Series out of 14.
5?
They won one.
And they won one.
Just one.
Right. That's my point.
Right.
And they weren't really spending much money either, actually.
Well,
they were just, all they needed was another bat and a better bullpen, and they'd have won more.
See, what Atlanta proved to me that they're not serious about this year when they...
Well, it's not Atlanta. It's not Atlanta. It's Liberty Media.
When they did not go after a right fielder over the wintertime...
Markakis is fine.
And re-signed 35-year-old Nick Markakis,
He's
who
one of the
cannot
top
hit
5
double
in Major League
digits for
Baseball
home
in terms
runs.
of the least strikeouts. He puts the ball in play.
Like, a
Excuse
right
me, I have no
fielder,
trouble with Markakis.
a right fielder should hit you 30 home runs.
Well, he should, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do much.
Well,
I mean, Yasiel Puig. I'd rather have Markakis than Yasiel Puig.
well, I wouldn't want Puig on my team, period.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I mean, a lot of these 30 home run guys bring a lot of baggage.
I'll tell you what, Leonard. One thing where, if you look at all these guys with these high price contracts, the difference between them and these kids that come up that are good is hardly anything.
Oh, you're right. The Braves locked up Albies and Acuna for $130,000, $1,000,003, and they got them for 9 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's a steal. It's a bargain.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Total bargain. I mean, these guys are legit, all stars. I mean, and I'll tell you what, and you like him a lot. I know you do, Hawk, and I do too. I mean, they may dangle. Swanson's having a good year. He leads the team in RBIs. They may dangle him if somebody needs a shortstop.
Yep.
Because Camargo's a better shortstop.
See, I've told you that. I've never thought Swanson was that good of a shortstop.
Oh, he's having a good year. He's hitting about 280. He leads the team in RBI.
Right. He's
got a few
finally
home
starting
runs.
to
He
hit.
plays. His defense is impeccable.
I think Camargo's a much better shortstop.
He's got a better arm.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's a switch hitter.
Yeah. Because I think Swanson's underachieved for being the number one pick.
Right. Well, he was hurt. He came out and played 2-3 months his first year. He was all world.
Yep.
Came out the next year and he stunk it up.
Yeah.
Last year, he was better, but he's playing with a hurt wrist most of the time. Yeah. He's actually played quite well this year.
Right, and that's what I would do, is trade your commodity while it's hot. Okay?
Oh, absolutely.
So if he's playing well in July, trade deadline, get rid of him at that point.
They should have moved Sean Newcomb over the winter.
Boy, I thought he was a little inconsistent last year, but I liked what
Great stuff. Great. He looked like his motion is smooth, but I don't think he's got the head.
Yep.
He doesn't have the killer instinct. It's like he's sitting on his easy chair. He's not. He doesn't look like he's got the fight.
Yeah.
Leonard, have you checked to see how our Raleigh friend is doing?
Yeah, he's hitting 198. I check the box scores every day, the Modesto Nuts, and he's got 2 or 3 home runs. He either catches or he DHs. He either hits second or third. And, of course, they moved him ahead one notch. He went from short season A ball to high advanced A. So it's going to take a little bit for him to adjust if he makes the adjustment. And so we'll see. I mean, based on everything that I've read from Major League Baseball scouting and all that, they expect him to, if he's going to make the big time, he's got to be a guy that hits over 20 home runs, hit about 210, 220. And if he doesn't catch, he'll DH.
Sort of like the guy that the Braves used to have there, with a beard.
Evan Gattis?
Evan Gattis.
Yeah. Oh, I think he's better defensively than Gattis, but Major League Baseball still has him ranked below average defensively in terms of throwing and receiving.
And that was the scouting report on him, is they felt like he would have no issues batting in the major leagues, but his defensive work needed a lot of work.
Yes. Yeah, and he's young, obviously, and he's making quite a jump in 1 year, and he's hitting for. He's got some RBIs, he's got some home runs. He's not hitting for average, but we'll know more in a couple of months whether he can adjust to that high level A, because he's facing pretty good pitching at high level A.
Yeah. So
better than the Cape Cod League.
Yeah. Thanks for calling, Len.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen.
Okay, we'll see you on the golf course.
Won't be long. No, you won't see me this weekend because no carts allowed.
Yeah. So, okay.
But anyway, good night. Good show.
We'll see you, Leonard.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, David, my outrage of the week, and I went ballistic. Philadelphia 76ers, just a bunch of characters on that team. At the end of the bench, Amir Johnson, during the game, pulls out of his sweats his cell phone. checking messages. Their star player, Joel Embiid, their center's
got
next
enough to do?
And looking at it and stuff. So I go, what the heck? Because you know how I get.
Right.
And I don't know how you are at your store about employees looking at cell phones.
You can't be too, because they're all doing it.
Okay, see, I'm the type of guy, David, if it wasn't handy Buick GMC, it would be Nighthawk, Buick GMC. I would tell all of my people, if I catch you once with a cell phone, 3-day suspension, second time, find new work.
Because if you did that, you wouldn't have anybody working for you.
Do you know what I call that, David? It's called theft of service.
Yeah,
because they're stealing time from you. And I have been told that I'm just an old whatever, and that everybody does it. It's just part of the fabric of society.
Yes.
So Amir Johnson, during the NBA playoffs, is looking at his phone. So apparently, what Joel Embiid said at the press conference after the game, and his kid was sick. He was just checking, updating to, I'm sorry, but you got half time to do that.
Yeah.
Do you know how Bush League that looked? You got a guy during a game looking.
That's so wrong. That's just awful.
It's ridiculous. So, but getting back to this football, and Leonard was right. Maybe it was you. It's all about the ratings the first week. But David, I don't know about you, but I'm football starved. Come September 8th, I'll watch the Giants play anybody, okay? But I don't want them to play an Eastern Division foe. Now, they have this rule in football. Last week of the season, you have to play an Eastern Division team, which is stupid because a team like the Giants are going to be out of it by week 17.
Well, they might not be, and the other thing this year.
But I'd rather
We got another call? Hello?
Yes, okay, you got 3 minutes, go.
All right, I just wanted to say, Nighthawk, this is Punky. I'm loving your style. I like your hat and your sweatshirt. You look good.
All I have to say, Punky, is it's not how you feel, it's how you look.
I will never, ever forget that. That's exactly how I feel, yeah.
Thank you, Pumpkin, and
We're setting fashion statements tonight.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And,
you guys both look sharp.
Punky, not only that, but I think I mesh well with the screen. Zach, wide shot, please. See that? I blend right in.
No, yeah, you definitely do. You look good. You look good. And saw your the raking today.
I was out raking, and I was telling David it felt great, and I did not have a breakdown of physicality. Back feels good. So are you going to the Enosburg baseball game tomorrow?
I think so. Yeah,
okay.
Definitely think I'm trying to make it. Jackson's going to be there for the pregame and
that's my
for the
daughter.
huddle.
Yeah. So I'll give you a call tonight.
Okay, sounds good, Nighthawk.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Okay, thanks, Punky.
Bye.
So why do I call my 33-year-old Punky?
Must be from Pumpkin somewhere.
Well, when she was born, her body was like that, but her head was like that. And I said to my then wife, I said, holy mackerel, our new baby's got a pumpkin head.
Oh, jeez.
So for the first week or so, I called her Pumpkinhead. Then it was Pumpkin. Then it turns into Punky.
Well,
so here she is, all of 33 and a half.
I'm sure she appreciates that, but it's still a very nice term of endearment.
I still call her Punky, and her and I had a great date 2 weeks ago. Leonard went to the Paramount Theater. We went and saw Air Supply. Remember
Air Supply from Australia.
Yes, and it was a great show at the lovely Paramount Theater in Rutland. Then we went to Applebee's and had some beverages and some good food down there. So, yep, she's absolutely the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. Geesh, I think that might be it, David. 1 minute to go, last word.
I think we got just about everything in. We touched on just about everything tonight.
And I love it when we get a ton of phone calls.
Yeah, it was good.
Actually, I do have a shout out. Yesterday, I do have diabetes, but I did lose some weight. I'm trying to lead a better lifestyle. So I met with Deb Robertson, the head of the diabetes up there at Northwest Medical Center. And what a lovely lady, knew her stuff. And I said, thank you. Looks like you really enjoy your job. You know your stuff. And it doesn't look like you're here just to get a paycheck. And she goes, Oh, that's so nice of you to say. But I like people that like to do what they
Right.
do. So anyway, that is it, Dave. Thanks for a good show tonight. For Zach, I'm the Nighthawk. And until next week, everyone, always remember this, that you do not have to be a great athlete to be a good sport. Ciao for now.